Let's talk to Reform UK councillor for that local area, Francesca O'Brien. Thanks for joining us, Francesca.
Hi, good evening, Kevin.
I ran through my feelings about this. I think I made them fairly clear. You must have been appalled when you found out about this.
It's kind of a big shock. It's actually not an area I represent, Kevin, actually. I represent a different ward, but the parents felt that they were unheard. So they got in touch with me sort of the end of last week to say what had happened, that I believe it was a woman representative.
Okay, fair enough, yeah.
From the local mosque came along, and the parents had concerns that of this visit and an unannounced visit. The parents had no prior knowledge to it. So I realised that there was quite a large number of people that raised concerns. This isn't just a couple of maybe disgruntled parents. There was real genuine concern raised about this visit. Some of the parents are Christians and believe in sort of Christian values, and they didn't feel that there was a fair balance of religious teachings throughout the school term. So I felt it was necessary for me to get involved, and I welcomed the opportunity to speak to parents. There was standing room only, actually, and like I say, it just wasn't a few parents. There was quite a large number of people that have genuine concerns. And unfortunately, the previous week, when a parent did attend the school to voice her concerns, people were branded, as you got it there, a racist.
Of course they were, of course. Bigots, no doubt, as well.
And also, of course, fear for people not to attend the meeting as well, Kevin. You know, there was parents that came on to me afterwards who didn't want to speak in public that said that there were other parents concerned, but they felt that they were put in a position they didn't want to come in case they were branded a racist. And I think what a sad state of affairs.
I'm just going to read out the statement from the school, from Seaview Community Primary School in Swansea. It says, the claims being made are not true. That's a bit odd. We have strong ongoing relationships with our local churches. We have regular visits and our pupils participate in major Christian festivals with them, including Christmas, Easter and the annual Harvest Festival. That's good, isn't it? This was the first time someone from the Islamic faith from our local mosque was invited to the school. It is untrue to claim pupils were told they would all be Muslim by the time they get to year 6 and that they were taught to pray in Islam. Does that gel with what you've heard happened, Francesca?
No, like I said, there was a lot of people there. I made notes throughout, and I've got some notes here, which I've actually emailed the head of education because I'm going to welcome a meeting with them to sort of highlight. I think this opened up a can of worms as well of other issues. But also what was a little bit concerning was that parents said that there was other schools who were raising similar concerns. And it's a shame that it is like that because, you know, I've got 2 young boys, they attend a local school here, and I can't fault the school. I can sing their praises because they have a lovely welcoming community there where parent engagement is fantastic. And unfortunately, it appears that with this particular school, that's, or at least the parents are saying that isn't the case, and things need to change.
What's at this primary school, the Seaview Community Primary School? Yeah. Are there? How many kids are there altogether? Do you know? Sort of.
I've been told that there's been about between 120 and 130 attending there.
Okay. How many of those kids are Muslims?
I believe it's a minority.
Okay.
And even parents recognise that there is that need for religious studies. Mm-hmm. However, do we need to be doing that at age 5 and 6? You know, is it age appropriate? That's the other question we have.
Yeah, and don't you think it's a bit strange that, you know, I mean, this is a Christian country. It's our official,
absolutely.
It's our official religion, and it is actually incumbent upon all schools to follow the religion of this country in their classroom. So don't you think it's a bit strange that we have regular visits and our pupils participate in major Christian festivals with them, including Christmas, Easter, and the annual Harvest Festival? I feel like saying you're supposed to celebrate Christmas, Easter and the Harvest Festival. They're saying it like, oh, isn't this great that we do this? It's a Christian country, of course we celebrate Christmas.
Absolutely. And the other thing which I found was that some of the children could they knew the prayer for Allah. One actually phoned him up on a Friday night, a parent, and they put their sort of the child on loudspeaker. And I thought, well, I wonder how many actually know the Lord's Prayer in comparison, you know. So it is going to be very interesting. I welcome the meeting that I'm promised next week to sort of uncover and hopefully answer these questions, and rightly so. So we've got that transparency. But some of the claims I have heard are concerning.
And are you happy with the veracity? I mean, it doesn't sound to me to be like something that a kid would pluck out of the ether and make up. Are you happy with the veracity of that kid's story?
Yeah, because
the visiting Muslim lady said you'll all be Muslims by year 6.
Like I say, I can't say exactly what was said, but I believe that there was one comment that when they were taught how to fast, the prayer, and what was the third thing, that by the time you're in year 6, you'll all be praying on mats. And I just thought, you know, I've got a 4-year-old son myself, so some of these children are just a year older, and I just think how much my son absorbs stuff, you know. Even when I'm talking to other parents, they're absorbing all of this, and I'm just wondering what sort of impact this is having on our younger generation. And like I say, it goes back to the fact of we should be upholding British values as well. You know, that should be core value, if anything. And it just seems to be the other way around.
And it seems to me that parents, if there's somebody visiting from a mosque who's going to tell the kids, I don't think there's inherently anything wrong with an Islamic lady coming to the school and saying this is all about this is what we do and all that. I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that.
Absolutely
unless
not.
it gets a bit sort of brainwashy, you know, you'll all be Muslims by the year 6. That I think is of concern. But I think that kind of visit is something that parents should be told about, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been informed. I've been speaking to parents since the meeting. Obviously, it's been sort of a move-in situation, if you want to call it that, since the meeting yesterday. And the parents have said that there was a newsletter where parents were notified. But I've read through the newsletter and I can't see any notification of that presentation. So like I say, all the parents there, not all of them are Christian, some were agnostic, but they all felt that they weren't fully informed of what was the content. And like I say, it goes back to what I said earlier, was it age relevant? And at 5 or 6 years old, it's the terminology used, and that's where we need to be very, very careful.
And the parents that came to your meeting, I mean, that's a big turnout, 100 parents.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably less than that, but it was more than what I expected. Okay. And I think that just goes to show the level of concern. But like I say, what's more concerning is that I've been contacted by other schools who are sharing, or parents of other schools who are sharing similar concerns.
They feared, the fear they were expressing was that this school, the kids in this school were being subject to education favouring Islam over Christianity. That's basically the story, isn't it?
Yeah, there was some definitely thinking that the sort of Christianity, or at least their views of Christianity, wasn't sort of respected. So when this child, I think who was 6 at the time, said, I'm a Christian, I don't pray on mats. And I think it was that lack of respect for the Christian faith. And like I say, I can only go by what parents have told me. Would all those parents turn up for the sake of it? No, I don't. And as a councillor, that is my duty, is to listen
Absolutely.
to them. And so I know I'm not elected by them per se, but if anyone that has got genuine concerns about that and felt that they're not being heard in the correct manner that they should be, then I'm more than happy to take up their case for them and find out those answers.
Well, that's excellent of you, Francesca. Just before you go, going off piste slightly, you've got the Welsh elections coming up soon, and we keep being told that Reform UK is going to achieve something sensational. They're going to displace the Labour dominance of your fine country. Do you think that's going to happen?
Absolutely. I think, in Wales, education actually on that topic is devolved in Wales. So it needs, like I say, we've got some fantastic teachers here in Wales, but the system, it's underfunded. We've had 26 years of a Labour government here. Things need to change, and that is the thing on the doorstep, is people want change. Reform are offering that change, and we will do it. We've got to break up that marriage between Labour and Plaid, and Reform are the party that are going to do it. So roll on 7 months' time. We'll be locking a lot of doors in the meantime, but absolutely Wales needs change.
And you sense that I mean, well, this is the story we're getting. You sense that the people of Wales are ready to do this, ready to get rid of the Labour government that I think has betrayed them for many, many years, and replace them with Reform. You genuinely feel that's the mood around your country? That
is the mood across areas that would have been always predominantly Labour. You know, for example, you know, the ward I went into yesterday, that's been Labour since time began. So and that there was comments there about Reform. So, you know, change is coming and it needs to happen. You know, you've only got to look at the Welsh Government spending on vanity projects. We need more money in our hospitals, our education, and Reform are the party that are going to do it.
Well, at least you haven't got to put up with old Kim Jim Drakeford anymore. Well, I wish you well, and well, let's keep in touch. I want to find out about what happens about this school.
I'll keep you posted. Thank you, Kevin.
Francesca, great to have you on the show. Thank you very much for your time. Francesca O'Brien, there, Reform UK councillor.